Good evening out there with Here's the Life with Zemrah and Ed at IntellectualRadio.com.
I'm back.
And as always, we're always so excited to be right here in this spot at this time. The traffic has been kind of running us ragged lately. You do what you got to do. So anyway, we want to say that Father's Day. We were going to talk about it last week, but we're just going to say the Father's Day. Matter of fact, Ed got a Father's Day gift, wonderful gift yesterday. His daughter was unable to get to him on Father's Day, but she bought him two wonderful colognes, Paco Rabanne,
Gorgeous.
Invictus, or whatever, and then Blue, which is just beautiful. So Father's
Love it.
Day turned out to really, really be nice. We went in a restaurant after church. There was a wait. I said, and you're saying that Father's Day,
See, now
there was
I
an
got to
absolute
take back
wait.
everything I said last week.
Absolutely. So I think that Father's Day this year, I
It
really
was, it
believe,
was.
and it was definitely good for him,
It's
as it
getting better.
always
It's
is
getting better.
anyway.
It's getting
Yeah. Now you're gonna try and clean it up,
You're
but
right. It is
anyway.
getting better. I admit it.
Yeah.
We did have to wait. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
So I said, yeah. It was a wait. Can you believe that?
Mhm.
I said, now come here, come right here now. And let me show you that there is a wait for Father's Day. So hope all you fathers did have a great, great Father's Day. So we're going to talk a little bit about, and this is what we're going to talk about last week, is the effectiveness of communication, because we know the communication is so important across the board for anything you do, anything you attempt to do. You have to learn to communicate. But we got a little something about, when we were growing up, a little icebreaker when we were growing up, and we would always talk about age and um, I know my philosophy, of course, is age is nothing but a number. Again, if you can walk, talk, and breathe, then we say what?
Keep it going.
Moving. So this is something that uh, George Carlin's view on aging. And sometimes, if you think about it, it really made sense. And we all were guilty of that too. I know this one right here is guilty of it.
George was one of my favorite comedians from the 60s and 70s.
Oh, yeah.
He was great.
Yeah. So it says, do you realize that the only time our lives when we like to get old is when we were kids? And that is really the truth. If you're less than 10 years old, you're so excited about aging that you really think in fractions. So someone asks you how old you are, you're going to say, I'm 4.5.
Right.
You're never 36.5. You're 4.5 going on 5. And that's the key. So you get into your teens. Now they can't hold you back. You jump to the next number or even a few ahead. Ed does that right now and have to say, baby, no, you're pushing your time up.
I got that from George.
Yeah, okay. So then you say, how old are you? I'm going to be 16. Now you could be just 13, but hey, you're going to be 16. And then the greatest thing is, and it's so amusing. The greatest thing is wait a minute, I got everything. Wait a minute. Okay, is the get yourself together. All right, be quiet. Okay, so then 21, even the word sound ceremony, and you become 21, you say, yes, yes.
I'm grown.
But then you turn 30 and you say, oh, what happened there? Makes you sound like bad milk. He had to throw him out. There's no fun now. You're just sour dumpling. What's wrong? What's changed? And then you become 21, you turn 30, then you're pushing 40. And time really is going by really fast. You say, whoa, put on the brakes. It's all slipping away. And before you know it, the real deal is, and I tell people this too, uh, time it's nothing but a number when it comes to that, but time is a factor because it's going fast. I mean, it really is. It's almost scary the way time is rolling. So you reach 50, and it seems like your dreams are gone. My dreams are definitely not gone, so that's a good thing for me. But wait, then you make it to 60. You didn't think you would. So you become 21, turn 30, push 40, reach 50, and make it to 60. You've built up so much speed that you hit 70.
Now you're just making it.
After that, it's a day by day thing. You hit Wednesday, you get your 80s, and every day is a complete cycle. You hit lunch, you turn 4:30, you reach bedtime. It doesn't end there. Into the 90s, you start going backwards. I was just 92. Then a strange thing happens. If you make it over 100, you become a little kid again. I'm 100 and a half. Make you all, may you all make it to 100, really. So, really and truly, we say how to stay young. Throw out those non essential numbers. This includes your age, weight, and height. Like I say, you don't pay none of that no mind. Let the doctors worry about them. That is why you pay. That's why we pay them. And then keep only cheerful friends. The grouches, don't even bother with them because you want people that have a spirit up, moving, and don't pay age no mind, stylish, jazzy, and want to
Positive
live
outlook.
life.
Someone with
Yeah,
a positive
definitely
outlook.
positive. And then the main thing is keep learning. Make sure you stay on top of computers and reading and all of that really does keep you vibrant and keep you in the mix with everything. And then really never allow your mind to become idle. Never allow it to become the devil's workshop. You just keep your consciousness very in tune with the times, and just don't let yourself get
Well,
to.
don't pay any attention to what people tell you. They tell you once you reach 40, you're
Well,
supposed to.
don't tell them don't pay no attention because I'm telling them stuff now. I
No,
want them to pay
I'm talking
attention.
about other people telling you negative things
Oh
about
yeah,
your age.
yeah.
Like when you get a certain age, you're supposed to be. How come you're not acting your age? You're 50, you're 60 years old, and you're still moving around. How come you're not retired?
Oh yeah,
Then if you tell yourself that, you will tell your body that, and your body will start to listen to you.
yeah,
I'm not supposed to be working out at 65 or 70.
yeah. Well,
I'm
that's
not supposed to be
crazy.
having a new job at 60, 55 years old, or
Yeah.
starting a new career, or writing a book, or coming out with a new CD.
Yeah, well, we always say that you don't pay that no mind, and we definitely ain't paying it no mind. So just keep your mind sharp, stay on top of your life, and enjoy the simple things in life. Laugh a lot, long and loud. Laugh until you gasp for breath. Just that's what
Yeah,
Here's the Life is about.
when's the last time you did that? Laugh
Yeah.
until you just you couldn't catch your breath.
Right. And then when tears happen, when you're going through, endure grief and move on. The only person who is with us our entire life is really ourselves. So be alive while you're alive. And I think that's a great point, is to really and truly, and that's something that Ed and I always say, is to really and truly live life to the fullest. Surround yourself with what you love, whether it's your family, pets, keepsakes, music, plants, hobbies, whatever. Just name what is good for you and make home your refuge for real. Cherish your health. It is good. Preserve it. It is unstable. Improve it. If it's beyond what you can improve, make sure that you get help. And that's what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago as far as being on top of your health. And then make sure you don't take yourself on any guilt trips. Take a trip to the mall, even to the next county, to a foreign country, but not to where it's guilt. So well, we ain't going out of the country right now. That's for sure. But there's things that you can do, right here, and tell people you love that you love them at every opportunity you get. So this is just something, a little icebreaker before we get in, and that's part of communication because I am Zemrah communicating these things to you. So
Right.
we want you to make sure that you live life. Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. Remember, life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take your breath away. And if you don't believe that, test it out. Meaning, live your life to the fullest, enjoy life, whatever it is you want to do, still in your life, make sure you're doing it. And just the main thing is to be happy. Find someone you can be happy with. And if you can't, make sure that you're happy with you.
All right. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
So how to have a happy marriage, but have a happy relationship,
If
period.
if we had the answer to that question,
Oh, it's plenty, and it's learning how to communicate. Verbal communication is very, very, and one of the things is that is key is to listen. One of the most
ooh,
important aspects of verbal communication is listening. If we respond to a suggestion or comment before the speaker has had the opportunity to fully express the thought, we are extremely rude, and the Bible says that we are foolish.
and not listening.
Right. So listening is very, very important. And then a soft answer to be able to respond in a very soft manner. Um, in a confrontational situation, a soft answer is the one that will cool the situation down and enable you. So instead of responding in a very harsh and disrespectful way, the best way is to respond with a soft response.
That takes practice
Yeah, absolutely.
and control.
Yeah,
Which the next time someone, especially next time someone angers you, or get under your skin or say something negative on purpose, count to 10 before you answer, or repeat the question because you know it aggravated you. You know it's done on purpose. Repeat it to give yourself time to think of something uh, calming to say
yeah,
rather than something confrontational. Just give yourself time because the reason why they said that it may have been just to get on your nerves. And what I found out is I never give somebody the pleasure of letting them know that they affected me that way.
yeah.
So if they tried to affect me, I would not let them know that they
But
did.
sometimes people aren't really aware that they're being, um, coming
Most of
forth
the time,
like
they a
that.
lot of times they don't know any better, but a lot of times they're aware of it. They just want to see what your response is going to be.
Well, one of the things too in effective communication, and this is, I think, is very, very important, is to always be truthful with how you feel about something. Somehow we think it is more love to hide our true feelings from those that we don't want to hurt. However, relationship built on hidden feelings, hopes, or fears is built on shaky ground. The saying, say what you mean and mean what you say. And that is really and truly the truth. You always should do that. And then believe what you hear. Like, for example, when your husband or wife tells you something in a discussion, believe what they say. Nothing is more frustrating than trying to discuss a subject than to have the other person hearing what they want to hear or think you are talking about rather than what you really are saying. Many times, people who have been married for many years don't really know each other because they won't believe what their partner says. In many of these cases, after a few years, one of the partners just gives up and just quits, and they absolutely quit trying to communicate.
They stop talking.
Yeah,
They stop communicating. So, well, it ain't working. I'm not getting through this person. No sense in even trying. I just ignore them.
but that's not good either.
It's not.
No.
That's not communicating.
It's not communicating, and
Mm.
that's not what's effective to do, to just ignore, or it's like you're giving up. And a lot of times, again, when people are married and been married for years, they tend to do that.
Yeah.
And that isn't effective and that is not good because, again, like we talk about all the time, love is patience. And when you have patience, um, then you kind of you're upfront, you're honest, but you have to believe when somebody tells you something, when your mate shares with you what they're feeling. And sometimes, in some cases, that is pushed off as being insignificant or,
Well, it's just dismissed
right.
by the other person if they don't have the answer. You tell them something about you. If they don't agree with it, they just say something wrong with you
Yeah.
instead of saying, "Well, it doesn't matter what the problem is. If that makes the person feel that way, then maybe I need to check the source. I don't have to agree with it, but if it makes them feel in a negative way, you need to check the source and just say, "Oh, okay, I might not understand why you feel that way, or that has anything to do with me, but since you do feel it, it's got to be valid."
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like I always say, if you have a concern, I don't think it should always be looked at as fussing or you're angry. And again, that's when it comes to expressing yourself being able to do that and without being, more or less shot down because you have feelings that you want to express.
Right.
Instead of being looked at as fussing, it should be looked at as what it is. It's a concern, and a lot of times a legitimate
Well,
concern.
it's a lot of times what couples need to do is learn how to argue, learn how to be disagree on a lot of things, but you don't have to be disagreeable. So,
When you
uh,
say learn how to argue,
yeah, 'cause learn how to fight because that gets it out. But you have to fight fair. There's certain things you shouldn't say in a disagreement.
right?
You should learn how to do that and what to say and what not to say.
Well, you're saying what manner? Well, I'm not going to. We won't use the term
Well, it's
learn how
like
to argue,
well,
Ed.
well, you, to be
Learn
this.
how to make your
Well,
point. Be
well, people
honest.
call it that. They call it fighting. Am I always for it? They're being disagreeable. They have two, three different viewpoints, and they usually wind up saying something that hurts the other person's feel that was not unintentional. So you can't say everything when you have an argument. Some people say things just to get back at somebody. Or you hurt my feelings, some guy, now I got to hurt yours. That kind of argument produces nothing. It does not bring forth an answer to the problem that you're having. So therefore, there's certain things you cannot say, but you need to learn how. Because if you don't, you avoid it. If you avoid it, you will not have a solution.
Well, absolutely. And then one of the things too that we always say too is when you're having a discussion or you are attempting to communicate, is that you need to stick with the subject. So if you have a
Oh,
tendency to
see, that's
throw,
difficult
yeah,
because usually people will change the subject, go to another subject in defense of their own problem.
well, that's why it says if you have a tendency to throw in a thought or unrelated subject while discussing an issue, break that habit. If you and your spouse are disagreeing over why the electric example is so high, and one of you say, you don't love me anymore, huh?
What?
They are not definitely they ain't sticking to the subject. You done went from the electric bill to somebody don't love you. And then if you need to talk about whether you really love each other, do it at a different time. But now just stick to the light bill. That was kind of far out. And then
But it's not.
believe you
But
are
it's true.
and then one of the things that I think too is that being on the same side is much easier to resolve differences, make plans, or share disappointments if you both are committed to the fact that you are on the same side. And I think that you don't take someone else's side. You always make sure that you are that you connect with each other because
And
somebody
and
else is
don't
going to always
and
have
don't
an
bring up somebody else's name in your argument. Well, so and so doesn't do it.
yeah,
Well, what's the name? Husband doesn't do that.
right.
All that kind of
I do.
thing.
That's why he's saying that because yeah, I do it.
Yeah, he doesn't do it. He always gets his wife's expensive stuff for Christmas and stuff. You don't think about me.
And I'm sticking with the subject.
You're not. No, you're not.
Yes, I do.
No, you're not. See,
So
that's what I'm
you are
saying.
only
That's what
the
I'm saying.
same.
You have to learn how to fight and be disagreeable
Yeah,
because they're going. When you're talking about a marathon, which is what a marriage is, this is long distance. So you have to be careful what you say. People say, "Well, I get angry. I say anything,"
well, we
and a
don't do
lot of
that.
people do that.
Well, yeah,
So the first
yeah,
thing, we don't use profanity.
right.
So
We
that
definitely don't do that.
because that's insult. That's, I told the kids that profanity is a mind struggle trying to express itself because it doesn't have a very large vocabulary.
I like that. You want to repeat that?
Well, yeah, I was telling the grandkids, I said profanity is what younger people, uneducated people do because they have a very small vocabulary to express. So those are the only words they know to use. I said, get your library and start studying up more and better words that better describes what you're feeling.
Yeah, because all that cursing and calling people out their names and all that—that's not
Well,
even
see,
necessary,
what you
and
say,
it's not healthy and it's not good.
yeah, because what you say, you know, uh, what you say, you might not remember, but the other person will never forget what you said,
Right.
even if you, especially if you said it in anger, and
And
you
you can't take it back.
and
That's
you
what's
and you
terrible.
say I didn't mean it. Well,
Right.
why didn't you say it? Stop saying things you don't mean.
Right.
Because once you put stuff in the universe, it does not go away. Sound study 3,000 miles per second. It does not stop at the other person's ears. Sound keeps moving. It's in the universe. So watch what you say. Measure your words, because they will come. You can't unring a bell. And people say, "Well, I forget about," but they will never forget what you said.
Yeah. So, if you truly desire to really have an effective communication with each other, it means really and truly listening to your partner. Listening. I mean, and this is across the board. We're talking about relationships, but that could be with friendship, at work. I mean, to be effective in communication carries you along really and truly in life, because then you know how to approach, and when you have problems or have situations, you know how to approach it. And that's really and truly the importance of it, is being able to communicate really across the board.
Well,
That's
it
what.
comes in handy with everything. It comes in
Right.
handy on your job, getting the job, keeping the job, with the people on the job, or when you're at work, you're going to meet a variety of people with a variety of attitudes, and they're going to treat you a variety of different ways.
Right.
And everybody's not going to like you, and some people dislike you and don't even know you.
Right.
So therefore, you have to expect this and know how to respond. Sometimes the best response is none at all.
That's what we say.
You have to
None at all.
practice that also.
Yeah,
That
but
when
then sometimes you say the best responses, but then to me that's not
Yeah,
communicating.
but that you will communicate that, because in the law, the 80% of communication is nonverbal. That means I communicate. I pick up on what you look like. I mean, what your eyes say, what your body language says, more than what you say. 80% of most communications is nonverbal. It ain't what you say it. It's how you look when you're saying it, how you move when you're saying it, the inflections in your voice, what your eyes say. That's why it's hard. That's why I don't like texting, because I can't tell if you're telling me the truth or not, because it's just a text.
And it depends the tone in which you're texting too, because sometimes it
Oh yeah,
can be misunderstood.
it can be, well, unless you can just know the person. If you know the person, then you understand, what they're saying. But if you don't know the person, you have no idea whether they're honest or not, or they're being truthful, or they're being, legitimate about what anything they're saying, because it's just a text. That's why I don't believe in this. When it comes down to something that's important, or a communication that means
Oh, you need
anything,
to pick up the
I'm
phone.
picking up the phone. Text is
Exactly.
not going to get it.
Right.
So all you people out there in radio land, texting is great, but not all the time. There are some things you need to pick up the phone and talk to that person directly. Otherwise, you're going to get miscommunication.
Yeah, because texting is really, to me, I think texting is really and truly for um, I don't want to say emergencies, but for
It's just for times when
it's really for convenience. If you're
convenience
in the middle of a meeting
when
or
you
you're in
can't
the middle
talk.
of, and you really can't talk, but if you have something very, very important to say, really of substance, you should pick up the
Yeah,
phone. I
yeah. You
totally
hear about
agree with
people,
that.
losing their jobs on the internet, or they getting a text on Facebook or something, or they're breaking up with each other with a text. Somebody emailed you or something. Those kind of things should not be done. In fact, any type of electronic means that should be done face to face or
Oh,
voice to voice.
absolutely. That would be heartbreaking and that would be terrible to break up with somebody, but people do it
They
over
do
the
over the
text,
phone
over the
because
phone,
they
not over the phone,
because
texting.
they're cowards.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a short pause for the cause. You're here with Zemrah and Ed at
Hmm.
IntellectualRadio.com. Like me on Facebook.
Oh yeah, have to like me on Facebook.
My mister is sweet. My mister is kind. My mister is remarkably fine. My mister oozes confidence, intelligent, and strength. Yeah, 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 yeah. My mister, I got to tell you, my mister, you're all I need and more, man. He's so faithful, so true. He always knows just what to do. Hey, that's my mister. That's my mister. I love him, adore him, my mister. That man of mine, my mister. He's so fine. I got to have you. I got to have you, darling, my mister. Hey, honey, you're all I need and more, baby. I love the way he strokes my face. Pulls me close. That's my mister. Written by Miss Pamela Wilkes, the lyrics. Music by Zemrah. And hey, that's my mister.
Hey, that's a new hit.
Pam said that's a man talking to his. No, that's a woman talking to her man. Yeah, we are still waiting, but by the end of this week, it should definitely be up on our Love Is Possible should be up on iTunes and CD Baby and Spotify and all that good stuff. So you can download some of my music. We just had some, some little technical difficulties, but again, everything is good.
Eventually,
Yeah,
it will be.
it's worth waiting on. You'll be very happy. So, going back to the effectiveness of communication is one of the things too is not making a lot of excuses. You feel what you feel, and you need to be able to express it freely, express it in a good way, in a wholesome way. But your partner or friend, whoever, you should own up. If you've made some errors, you made some mistakes, you said some things that you really should have not said, you need to humble yourself and let that person know that, hey, I apologize. Don't ever be too big or too proud to apologize. If you were incorrect on something or you did something to hurt someone's feelings, you always have to be big enough to say, hey, it was me. I made a mistake and I'm really, really sorry about that. And I really admire someone that's big enough to be able to do that because a lot of people aren't able, they always find blame in someone else. And sometimes you really and truly need to step back and look at yourself and acknowledge when you're wrong about something.
Yeah, but it takes practice and it takes a lot of courage to learn how to do that because a lot of people do that, but they always qualify their answer by saying, "Well, it wasn't all me."
Yeah.
You did something too. They got to qualify instead of just taking the blame, just saying, "Hey, I don't know what it was. Even if I do not know what I did wrong, if it hurt you, I want to apologize
Right.
for whatever it was. I did not mean it. That was not my intention to do so." You have to learn how to say that because a lot of people can't say that. Why? Because they never had to,
Right.
and they never were told how to do it. Look, I feel there's something between us that you and I saying because it's affecting our relationship because I can feel it. For whatever it is, I apologize. And eventually the person will come and tell you and say, I wasn't going to say anything about it, but you really did hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
You know, or some people will not say anything because they don't want to feel that they're that sensitive. But there's nothing wrong with being sensitive. So if you say something to hurt my feelings, I need to know. I had to search my heart and say, was it them? Was it the truth? Or just me the way I'm reacting? Maybe I should react differently. Or maybe it's the way they see me that way. If they do, I need to ask them why. So that everything is for the betterment of you. If you apply for a job and they don't take you, a good point to do or person to do is say, hey, look, I didn't get the job, but what could I have done better to get the job? What did I do wrong, or what could I have done? That's don't say wrong. What could I have done that would have made you change your mind? And they'll tell you what to do to correct yourself,
Mm.
which is what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, the
Just be
thing
honest.
is,
Just be honest with yourself about exactly the way you feel.
oh yeah, I think that's very important to always acknowledge and be honest with yourself about things. Sometimes people don't always do that, but um, main thing is that to really don't make a lot of excuses for shortcomings or all. Just be conscious about that. And then I think it's important too that we always look at acknowledging our failures and just, if you fail in something that you were really and truly working hard to accomplish, and you just redo it. It's
Oh,
nothing like keep on with your dreams, keep on searching how to make things better. It might seem because that's really and truly what an entrepreneur is.
right. A
They
person.
always got something going, and they don't stop until they make it and accomplish it. And I think that's a great thing. Very very important. And
But that's what's important uh, about success. Failure is an essential ingredient to success.
yeah,
Is if you want to succeed and you haven't yet, fail some more.
yeah,
If you failed before, don't be afraid, fail again
right.
because your success is right around the corner.
Yeah. And then you got to be willing. You got to be willing to go through to get through. And sometimes, that's again where I always like to stress about the value of having patience. And a lot of people, that's where their downfall is because they can't go any further because they just don't possess patience. And patience is truly, when they say patience is a virtue, that's really the truth. It is. I
Mhm.
know my mother always used to tell me that I had the patience of Job, and I really do. And it's something that I really value because it has really and truly taken me through life. Because if something don't work out, I'm just patient, and I just know that at one point it's going to work out. So you just don't stop, and you have to be willing to just keep on trucking along and keep on pushing because it's gonna come. It's gonna come big when it comes. So you just have to just keep on grinding and just to make it happen because it will definitely manifest in your life.
Well, my motto is you cannot fail if you never quit.
Right,
Just don't quit.
right. Always keep on pushing, and that is really and truly very important. So I just encourage you to to stay strong. um, Make sure that you're open, you're honest with your friends, your mates, your children. Just tell it always like it is. Always be upfront. There's always, again, like we always say, it's not what you say, it's how you say. But it's nothing like being direct and being honest. It's a girl that works with me, and I just love her ability, Kenya. I just love her openness and her honesty. She's just so straight up. It's like you don't have to question, you don't have to wonder. She is who she is. What you see is what you get, and I think that is so important for people to be like that because that's when you look at realness in a person and you know that they are just genuine. And I think that's a virtue also that is very very important, and that a person don't have to guess who you are. They know exactly who they're dealing with you. And if you can't accept the truth, then that's a problem when it comes to her because she gonna be honest about it. And I really and truly I love it and I respect it so much. So I think
Mm.
that's really
Well,
really
because
great.
you already know where it's coming from.
All right,
You
that's
know
what I'm
exactly
saying.
what they're gonna say.
That's why I said, be honest and be, straightforward. And if people are smart, they value that because that's important. I know that's very important to me. And then we always say, you pray together, you stay together. So always have God in the midst of your relationship. And again, whether even in the midst of your friendships, let God be present. And I think that just takes you far.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we hope that we brought something positive as we always try to, and to touch the heart and give you some food for thought. And we hope that your week we're getting ready to come into the fourth. You know, the days, like I said, are going by so fast. We look up. I was looking in the store the other day, and they got school clothes
Back to
starting
school
to set
already.
up back
They
to
just got
school.
out of school, didn't they?
Yeah. But I mean, we're coming into July. July 4th is a week from this Thursday.
That's right.
So, and then after the 4th, then comes Labor Day, and then you look up and they putting up
Oh,
Halloween
stop
stuff.
pushing it,
I'm
will
telling
you?
you. I
My
mean, it
goodness.
just,
Slow down,
well,
girl. Slow down.
it'll be my favorite time of the year.
slow,
Christmas. So we're gonna hear another one of my favorites from
slow up.
You Are. That's number 3. And we're gonna really, when this music really gets out, we want to really push this to be the wedding song. I'm going to Texas, and I'm going to sing this song for one of my friends' daughter is getting married. You Are.
You are. It's coming.
You are my baby, my darling, my love. You are music to my ears. You are the beat of my heart. You are my joy, my peace, my love. You are the place my life starts. Yes, you are. You are my inspiration. You are my happy. You are my tears. You are the sugar in my coffee, chocolate in my cake. Yes, you are. Now make no mistake, baby, you are. You are. You are the place my life starts. Yes, you are. You are daybreak news. And baby, with you I know I'll never be blue. You are the color in red. So bold, so bold, yeah. You are, baby, you are. You are the place my life starts. Yes, you are. You are the wet in the rain, the hurt and pain. You are, baby, you are the place like stars. You are the juice in the peach, so sweet to the taste. Mm. You're the sunny in the sun, moonlight bright as the night. Yes, you are.
That song, I have already claimed that song to be the wedding song for 2019. 2020, 2021.
One.
That song just, and those again are lyrics written by Pamela Wilkes.
Ah,
That song just mesmerizes you, and everyone that's heard it really and truly falls in love with it. A very, very close friend of ours, he made a special call to me and told me that that was his favorite song, Thurston, favorite song off of my CD, and he fell in love with Brenda all
oh,
over again. So that's what that song, the lyrics, are just, I really, that's one of my favorites. It really is. And Pam, I thank you
you
for being
trying to bring back
such a
love or something,
prolific
baby?
writer. You're just awesome. Thank you for this. Thank you for that.
Go girl.
And so next week we have coming, we have a special guest, and she'll be a surprise,
Oh,
and she'll be new on our show,
um,
and she is a matter of fact, she wrote the song "Get It Right This Time" for
oh,
me off of Very Irresistible Zemrah.
oh, okay.
So we are very, very much looking forward to our special guest next
Special guest,
week.
yes.
Yes. So we're here every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Unless we have some technical difficulties. We are here with our Here's the Life segment. And hopefully, again, like I said, we're bringing something that you can carry through the week with you, and that you can, really and truly benefit from some of our um, food for thought.
Yeah, because our subject for today is effective communication, but that takes practice. So spend the next week until we meet again practicing effective communication. You have to do it on purpose. Don't just say anything. Think about it for a minute. Let's say, is what I'm saying going to be effective? Not just make me feel good or get it off my chest, but will it help the other person to hear what I'm saying? And if it does that, then you're on your way to being a better communicator
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
one of the top people in your field.
Yeah, I think it's very important, and that's one of the things you gotta, like you said, on purpose. You got to make the time. Otherwise, if you don't make the time to consciously um, communicate with whoever you're communicating with, if you don't really make that time, then you're just using another excuse
Yeah,
not to do what
right.
you need to be
That's what
doing.
that's what the Bible says. Measure your words, which means you check them out before they come out of your mouth
Yeah.
and say, is this effective? Is what I'm about to say going to get me what I really want?
Hmm.
And that is to get the other person to hear what I'm really saying.
Right.
Is that the best way to do it? Which is why Jesus took years before he started preaching because
Excuse me.
he had to take and adapt his speech to the people he was talking to. So if he's from another universe, he's talking to people about animals, and he has to make parables about everything that they could relate to. So when you talk to somebody, say something that they can relate to make your what you're trying to say more effective. So if you're talking to young people, say something that they can compare it to, which means to give them a better understanding of what you're trying to say, how really important it is. So lay a parable, say a story, and whatever you do, always compliment a person before you criticize them. Say, tell them what they've done well, tell them what they've done right, and then tell them what the error that they made. And they appreciate it more, which is really what you want, is that the person to hear you.
And I think one of the things too, that's what kind of, when I wrote Love is Possible, um, I thought of the title because, in this world that we're living in now, love is missing. It's really missing in relationships of all kinds. And I wanted to really and truly, in our Love is Possible, I wanted to bring love back to life. And I wanted people to know and really and truly believe, like I say in the lyrics, that love truly is possible. But you got to know it and you got to believe it. So, I feel like in that it's not a lot of lyrics, but the lyrics that's in there, they are substance, and and they speak to you if you really and truly listen. The L is life and love. The O is optimistic that everything will work out. You'll find that perfect mate. And then the V, you got to be visual. You need to be able to see that person and visualize that person that you really are looking for and that you want to be a part of your life. And then the E is that love is everlasting. If that's what you really want, so you put out because like we always say, you put it out there because again we know that all you give is all you get. So you have to
Mhm.
really and truly, if you want your love to be everlasting and your relationship to be of substance, then you put it out there.
You have to do
So
something.
you got to know that, you got to feel that because love is real
Love
and
is
love is
love.
something that we
Love
all
is a
need.
verb. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Verb
is.
means that you're doing something to show that.
Right.
If you're not, you're just talking.
Right. You got to be able to let people know how you really and truly feel. And again, that's where the honesty comes in at. And you got to be able to receive it. So, and be open. And love is possible. That's what I tell you. Love is possible. And you know it is. So, you got to believe that. So, on that note,
Keep the faith.
we are going to say, hey, keep the
Hey,
faith. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. We love you out there. Make sure that you like me on Facebook. Please like me on Facebook. And I'll make sure that I send out to you when my music is up on YouTube, Spotify, not YouTube, I'm sorry, on iTunes, Spotify. It's going to be on iCloud. So it's going to be out there on several areas of my music. So I'm looking forward to that.
hmm
Is that it? Oh, you know what? I wanted to say this too, to Reggie, Reggie Foster Jr. He had to cancel his concert, which we were supposed to be performing on the 21st of this past Friday, and Reggie lost his sister. So we send love out and shout, to him that peace and hope all is well, and we love you. Take good care, Reggie. Well, we talk anyway, but I wanted to say that out loud.
good. Excellent.
Okay.
Well, as always, I want to thank Earl and Wanda and give me a chance to be myself again.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, Wanda.
Communicate.